So here we are. I just started the recording again, and we are moving on to activity. We just talked about recruiting on the last session, and we're talking about how to fill your calendar. Basically, it just, like I said, it boils down to making your connections every day. I am going to post a few documents for you guys to print off in between this segment and the next one when we take our quick 5-minute break again. And then we'll try to wrap it up, I guess, on that last one. That should put us pretty close to 11 o'clock our time, 12 Montana. So those are trackable. The sheets that you're going to have, there's one sheet that has our critical success factors listed. This is a really cool new thing that Southwestern, our parent company, has brought to WildTree, is giving us trackable actions to equal the goals that we're trying to accomplish. So it's really, really nice because like we talked about, if you're not doing these actions, you're not going to get to that goal that you have in mind. So the critical success factors, there's a description of each of those on the sheet that you'll be able to print. Also, we have something called income tracks that hopefully most of you have seen. If you've gone onto Sonara's website and started on module 1, she talks about the income tracks. The income tracks tell you how many of each of the critical success factors you need to do each day to basically get the bottom line dollar amount of income that you're looking for. Because really at the end of the day, we're all looking for extra money. It's just that money is going to do something different for each of us depending on what our goals are. So how you can measure that and keep track of it is by using this goal card that we have, which I'm also going to be posting. So I'm going to post that chunk of documents that all goes together so you can print those off before our next session so we can look at those a little bit closer. But basically you make a tally mark on your goal card each day and each category that you do those critical success factors. And then we can analyze. That gives us an ability to analyze your action steps to see if you're like, why is this not happening in my business? Then we can see where you're missing the boat, kind of like, oh, well, you're spending all your time on this, but you haven't really put a lot of effort into this section. So maybe if we amp that up a little bit, you're going to get those results that you're looking for. So I think it's amazing to have an actual concrete trackable system that tells you what actions you need to do to get this outcome. It's just all figured out, and it's all based on hard concrete statistics. Okay, so once you have your calendar full, which we talked about with our Post-it note document, you are going to want to do a good job host coaching, because that is how you're going to get a good attendance at your party. Every once in a while, you may have a party like Karen had of 35 people, but not that often. 30.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's insane.
35 freezer meal workshops. I actually met Karen at my biggest freezer meal workshop to date. My first launch party was my biggest party ever, tasting party. But there were 18 women at the party on my birthday. I met you on my birthday, Karen.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you guys are a lot of fun, and I'll be in Missoula for my birthday. Anyway, so I'll do a party on my birthday. But 18 women doing freezer meals. That was pretty awesome too. Pretty insane. But anyways, that's not necessarily like 18 or 35 is not the norm. So the good goal is to have, 10 to 15 people at your parties. That doesn't mean all of them are making meals necessarily, but being in front of 10 to 15 people is going to guarantee you the numbers that you want to. And keep this in mind, you can, be very successful and not always have 10 to 15 people at your parties. That's just the goal that you're trying to work towards. So if you tell your hostess, if you have at least 3 or 4, that'll be enough to have a party, then that's kind of like the goal or the mindset you're giving her. But if you say, hey, the goal is to have 10 to 15, 12 is a really great number. So by doing, in order to do that, you're going to have to invite 40 people. I mean, that's just the way it goes with parties. People are busy, they have things going on. You're going to have to invite 40 people. So about a quarter to a third of the people you invite will actually be able to come. So one way to kind of get this information out to her is to send a little cover letter with her invitation. I actually posted that on Team Awesome yesterday, so I'm not going to go into detail because we can move on to other topics, but you can read that on there. And then you can use the Mad Mimi invitation. Has anybody done the Mad Mimi yet or seen the training?
What is that? I watched the training.
Okay. And then you've tried it, Kelly. What did you think? Oh, you're on mute. Let me unmute. Oopsie. Okay. All right.
Sorry, I think I had myself muted.
Yeah, you're muted. But so you've done the Mad Mimi invitation?
I have. Yep.
Okay.
It's very friendly, so I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's super pretty. So I also posted my example of my Mad Mimi invitation. Just if you don't know what Mad Mimi is, it's just like a third-party company that helps you design really pretty emails that it's free to be a part of. And once you make one, you can clone it and just change just the date for the party, the link, this and that, and bam, it's done. So I hate learning new stuff like that. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I just buckle down, watch the 20-minute tutorial. It's on Sonara's training website. It's a really good step-by-step tutorial. Just take some notes while you watch it, and then you'll be able to put it together. But all the words I use now, I mean, this is all a new thing for me. I just have only been doing this for maybe about a month. But the email that I send to my hostesses, along with the Mad Mimi invitation, I just posted yesterday in Team Awesome. So just make a note to check that out. And then that way you guys can copy any of the wording that you like and just use that. But essentially it's telling her, you know, if you invite 40 people, you'll get 10 to 12. If you have 12 people who order workshop kits, you'll actually be able to get 2 kits for free, which is super awesome. But if you have at least 7 who order kits, then you'll be able to get your workshop kit for free. And then it just gives some tips. But the last thing with host coaching is, well, okay, first of all, if you have a conversation with her about her party, you know, the next day, like we talked about, whether you're offering the business opportunity at that time or not, you still want to have a conversation with her and just say, I'm super excited about your party. You know, kind of like, what's your idea of what you want your party to be like? You can almost kind of use that prosperity circle. And if she's like, well, my kitchen's not very big. I'm thinking like 4 people is probably the most I can fit. Then you know ahead of time, holy crap, she might have only invited like, 6 people thinking 4 are going to come because she told you she thinks her kitchen is small and this is the idea that she has for her party. So you want to kind of steer her another direction, like, hey, you know what? You actually only need about 1.5 feet of counter space or table space per person. We can totally do folding tables. We can do your kitchen counter around the outside. We can get creative with where to put the food. But the best parties are when you have like 10 to 12 people. And I'll tell you why. Number one, everybody's just more excited. It's just more fun with a bigger group of people. Okay. And then number 2, your guests aren't going to feel like obligated or under any pressure at the party to like buy more, like place an order for extra things or book a party, because there's so many people there. Chances are out of 10 to 12 people, you're going to easily have 2 people who want to host parties, and you're going to have some people who want to place orders and some people who are fine just going home with their workshop kit. But when you have a really small party, sometimes it's a little bit more intimidating for the guests there, where they're feeling like a little bit more pressure to order and a little bit more obligated to book a party and stuff. So let's just, why don't you keep that in mind and think about maybe inviting more people just to get that excitement and fun up in the room. And I promise you, everybody's just going to have a lot more fun if we have a bigger crowd. I learned all of that from Mandy, what I just said. I have never practiced this myself, but it kind of all really made sense. When she said it, I was like, oh, that is true. Like, people do kind of feel a little, even if you're the sweetest rep in the world, if there's 4 people sitting there with catalogs, they're like, people are going to know if I don't buy something. That's just what goes through our minds as women, of like, want to be pleasers, and stuff. So I thought that was actually a really good point. So that's one way to kind of get them excited. But most importantly is so that you're really setting the tone for, like, if you invite 6 people, you're going to get 1 or 2. People sometimes, especially if they haven't hosted parties before, and we get a ton of hostesses who have never hosted parties before, just like Karen said, she did the jewelry one because she was doing a favor for her friend, but really she hasn't been a party hoster because she's not into doing that. I get so many people who said, I would never host any other party, but this is practical. This makes sense. I feel like I'm helping my friends because we're getting dinner prepped, So they might not be a pro at hosting. People who host all the time, they know for sure if you invite 40, you're going to get 10 people. But if they're brand new, you just want to set that stage for them and know where their vision is at, so you guys can have this conversation ahead of time, because I've done a bad job at that plenty of times. And then it's like, holy cow, she only has like 2 people wanting to come. And I'm like, oh, just kind of curious how many no's and maybes you have. And then she's like, well, I had 1 no and 1 maybe and 2 that can come. I'm like, that is not inviting very many people to your party then if you're inviting 4 people, you know. So have that conversation up front, really help her understand the ratio of who's going to end up coming. Talk to her about if people can't be at your party, they can still order a kit and have it shipped to them. So invite out of town people, let them know you're doing this, that type of stuff. So just really be engage with the hostess and then check in with her a few times to do reminders. You can't believe how many times you check in a week later. I'm so glad you reminded me. I kept meaning to get to that. I haven't sent my invitations out yet. So it's our business. It's not the top of their priority in their life. You know what I mean? They're hosting a Wild Tree party. To them, it's just one more thing on their list. It's going to be great when they do it, but it's not the first thing they think of every morning. So that's kind of, our work is mostly done behind the scenes. Once we get to the party, it's kind of like really chill. Like you hope somebody needs help squishing their bag together or making a meal or something because, you know, you're just kind of like waiting for them to put their meals together, and then you do the checkout station after you've done your demo and stuff. So really doing a good job before the party is going to make the most success out of your parties. So I guess with the host coaching, we do have a host coaching checklist. I can post that. I'm going to make a note. I will post that so that you guys can print that off. You can always alter it. I think it's an Excel spreadsheet, or it is an Excel spreadsheet. So you can change the topic. Like if you're like, I want to do mine a little bit differently than this, it'll give you a guide to start with at least. But that way you'll have a way to maybe keep track of your hostesses if you like to do it that way. Okay. Any questions on host coaching or things that have worked for you guys that you wanted to share?
No, sounds good.
Okay. I'm trying to talk fast so we get it all done, but want to make sure that I leave time for you guys to also contribute. Okay, so the demo. I am going to say I did a Facebook Live video about a week ago, I think, of me doing my whole demo, and it's posted on our Team Awesome page. So why don't I walk you through my demo without, let's see here. You know what? Some people might be watching this who aren't even on our team. So like for the recording later. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to do a really fast demo. Okay. Let's see here. Do you guys want me to do a really fast demo? What are you wanting? Because I want to spend the time on what you want me to spend the time on. If you feel like you want to just watch the demo on Team Awesome that I posted,
I can do that.
Yeah, if you already did it, I can watch it on there.
It might be better use of our time because, and honestly, if people outside of our team watch this, then that's okay. I mean, I can maybe share that video with them if they want to see it. The thing that I did want to mention about the demo is, well, the new thing that Mandy's doing is a meal planning consultation, okay? So she is actually pulling people out while they're making meals and just saying, hey, can I grab you for a second, Amy? Let's talk about, oh, a dog opened my door. I wanted to just grab you for your meal planning consultation really quick, okay? And then you take them aside, and before that, Mandy actually has them complete their survey. So the difference is in the way that I do my demo and Mandy does hers would be once you do your demo and you go through your, history on the you do introductions, have the hostess introduce herself, introduce yourself, briefly tell why you Wild Tree, okay? Then you're gonna go through your make ahead, make fresh, make fast, replace the staples, meal planning solutions. You're gonna talk about the rep locator map and how our part of the country so in touch, blah, 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 blah. Then the business builder kit, how much that is and how awesome the opportunity is, whatever. And you'll hear all that on the video. At that point, Mandy has them complete their survey. She says, I'm going to pass out a survey. This is a really neat tip. She actually holds the survey up and says, on this survey, you can indicate your interest level in learning more about our business opportunity or possibly hosting your own party. And if you know of anybody that this would be a really good fit for, there's a place for you to put a referral name as well. So she really actually explains the survey and puts it right out there, which I think is great. I did that at my last party too. I said, here, you can indicate this and that. I think that was really beneficial. Instead of making it like the secret survey and then their secret and everything's a secret, it's like not that big of a deal. You're just having them fill that out. You can do the surveys then, and you can even do a drawing if you wanted to with the surveys for fun and just give them a prize, or not, whatever you want to do. And then when she pulls them out for their meal planning consultation, she already has the survey in their hand. Mm-hmm. So I think I might try it that way. You guys are going to have to watch my demo, see how I do it. Some of you have been at my parties, so you would know a little bit how I do it, and just kind of pick and choose what you like from that and from mine. Mandy did an outline of her demo. I'll post her outline, okay? So keep in mind it's Mandy's outline. It's not going to match my demo, but I feel like between the two, you're going to be able to really come up with what you like for your style and what resonates with you the most. So you can just kind of make that your own. So she's actually meeting with them and talking about, you're going home with 10 dinners tonight because you're doing the make ahead option. But really, and I love this, what she's saying now is like, my goal is for you to have a whole month's worth of meals figured out for you, have a plan for a whole month. So you can, there's a few different ways. I mean, basically, if you add a Make Fresh bundle, that's another 8 dinners that you have planned out for you for the month. And then if you add a few, maybe a couple skillet meals and some spaghetti seasoning and taco seasoning, you've kind of filled in and you have all your meals planned for 30 days. And what's really great is you're going to be able to remake most of those meals again and maybe several times over, depending on, the different products that you have. So she basically helps them kind of figure out a plan for a month's worth of meals, and then does their order and everything during their meal planning consultation in the middle of them doing meals. So she just pulls one person out, does that individual conversation, they go back, pull someone else out. And what she said is that it's been really nice because it's shortened the length of time that she's at her parties, because instead of doing your whole checkout station at once, because most people finish their meals within a few minutes of each other, it does almost kind of become rush hour. It's like you go from not doing much at all during the time when they're putting meals together to trying to manage this checkout station. And Amy's, when you came to my party, that's like the one at your sister's house. That was a really good example of like a total rush hour of everybody was ready to like do their order, turn in their survey, get their stuff, all of that. So I can see where doing this meal planning consultation would be really beneficial. So I haven't personally tried it yet, but I like the idea. Molly wants to try it at her party on Tuesday because she was here last Saturday at our training. And I'm going to actually be at Molly's training, or at her first party with her, because Molly's never even been to a party before. I met her at the Lewiston Fair. So I was already planning on going down there. So we'll give it a shot. We'll be the guinea pigs and let you guys know how it goes. So I will be posting Mandy's demo along with all that other stuff. Okay, and so basically, I think we kind of talked a little bit about the checkout. I know that was on your list, Karen, for having a really good checkout. The meal planning consultation might be one thing you try. Otherwise, it's kind of like teaching an old dog new tricks. It's like, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to do this, especially because I'm going to have so many people have been to my parties before. So It's like changing the plan. It's like, oh, okay. But like I said, it'll be fun at Molly's house to try it out and see how that flow goes. And then with the checkout, I think, like I said, if they have interest in the business, set up a follow-up appointment. Okay. So that's the most important thing as far as the business opportunity. If it's an environment where you have some time to have a conversation with them, it's a good thing to ask is like, it looks like you have some interest in learning more about our business opportunity. Like what intrigued you, about the business, or tell me a little bit more about that. Or do you have any questions right now that I could answer for you? And, kind of gauge it, whatever, if it lends itself to you being able to have that conversation with the person. And then just schedule that follow-up appointment with them, I think is really the best way. So, and then it's just really easy to have that conversation. You just have a natural, really meaningful conversation where you're just really trying to help them out. And then for the bookings, I always have a booking basket with dates clipped to it. I've been buying stroganoff skillet meals. And I've been buying stroganoff skillet meals and chocolate mousse sample packs. You can just order them with your business bucks, in the business aid section. So I put those in my basket, and then I put the party packs standing up in my basket now because we have those new Mexican and Italian party
Oh,
packs. Yeah, so I've been loving that. But I just tell them if they choose a date that's clipped to my basket, because those are your closer in dates that you're really wanting to fill. And like for you, Amy, one week you might put a Monday, Tuesday. The next week you might put a Wednesday, Thursday. And then that way they might choose, or maybe put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of all one week. Get 2 bookings from that part. That's probably a better idea, just to keep your bookings as close in as possible. And it's kind of like they get a prize because they picked one of your dates, not they booked a party 3 months down the road and get a prize. You know, you want them to, you want to keep your calendar full close in. And then so they get a little thank you gift, and then I give them their party pack right away. And on the front of the party pack, I just write their date. I just take Sharpie marker and put, you know, Wednesday, December 3rd, 6 p.m. And then I add on there a baguette sliced or cubed, you know, like for them to get some bread, because we always bring our little sauces and oils along to the parties. So that tells them, in addition to what they're going to make in that little pack of either Mexican or Italian, to also get a loaf of bread, excuse me, for the dipping bar. And I actually don't seal those up ahead of time. I pull the little recipe card out and show them really quickly, like, hey, here's what you're going to be making at your party. These are the groceries you're going to buy, and the things in green on the Mexican kit are the wild tree samples that are inside the little envelope for you. You know, and it just really walks them through it. Super simple. Kelly, are you familiar with those party packs?
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I think you and I talked about this last time on the phone. Okay,
Yeah,
I wanted just to make sure everybody was understanding what we're talking about. Okay, so yeah, so then at the checkout, you see that they have interest in hosting a party, and I just basically say, oh, it looks like you're interested in maybe hosting a party. Did you want to look at some of the dates I had on my booking basket? That's what I say every single time. It's really easy. It's just easy to say, you know? And I feel like, I mean, it might be a little crutch, but it helps me book parties having a booking basket, because it gives me something to like refer them to, instead of like, I don't know, it feels like it's just out in space if you don't have that. So whether you have a booking basket or you just have some dates on a board, we used to do this open sheet on a clipboard where it's like, here, do you want to look at my open dates, or whatever you want to do. But the booking basket tends to be across the board where people have the most success, you know, with that. So, and those sample packs are super cheap. They're like $1 each or something for those, for the samples. So, okay. We have 5 minutes left on this one. And the last thing we have is I wanted to have you guys print off the, all those things I was talking about, the CSFs and the goal card and stuff, and do the follow-up, do a really quick how to follow up with people, and a system for that with your surveys after parties. So are you guys good with, like, we end this session 5 minutes early, but then we start one more really quick, and we'll just go as long as we shouldn't be too much longer than 11 really by the time we get through it. So if you guys don't mind, give me a couple minutes to post those documents on Team Awesome on the files. So you'll just see them. There's going to be, I don't know, there's going to be 4 or 5 posted. So then if you have time to print those off really quick, it might be a little bit easier to go through. And then we'll go through the follow-up and question time if anybody has questions, okay? So,
great.
what?
I said, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to end this meeting, and then I'll be back on in about 5 minutes so we can hop back on again. Okay, bye guys.
Thanks.
Bye.